chosen ones, empaths, and all the genuine souls out there, you've seen this impulsive, risky behavior from the narcissist. You've even seen this risky behavior. You've seen it, okay? And a lot of you see this portrayal of their lives afterwards, because a lot of you are still looking on their social media. You see the way that they're living their life afterwards, and so many of you think they're living their best life, and you're waiting for karma to come, and you're waiting to see karma affect them, and you can't see it. But you need to look beneath the veil. You need to look a bit more closely, okay? I understand everything, why you see that way. I understand why it seems like they're living their best life. But this impulsive, risky behavior, like trading a relationship that they had with you, something that was already built up, it was already established, and they traded this for something just spontaneously. It's not an upgrade. It's not an upgrade. It's impulsive, risky behavior, okay? And they started to come to terms that the relationship needs to end between you and them. And regardless if you, so this, let's say you were discarded. If you were discarded, and this is them coming to terms with the relationship coming to an end, and they were deciding for a discard. So they lined up a source of supply, and they discarded you. But it's very impulsive. It's very risky. And a main reason why they had to get away from you is because narcissists, they can't live with you, can't live without you. And they get a lot of narcissistic injuries because they're putting on this act to be in your life. It's very difficult for them. But this relationship ending, however it did end with you and the narcissist, actually is the onset for them to fall into a narcissistic collapse. And this narcissistic collapse, classic traits are this risky behavior, this impulsive behavior, okay? They rush into these new things, and it doesn't work out. You have to be logical. Let's think logical. Anyone who rushes into something new straight after they've been in a relationship, it's called a rebound. They rush into these new things with people, and it doesn't work out. That's in normal relationships. So there's no reason for you to think that a narcissist can somehow just go from someone as special as you are and as a blessing to be around as you are, and then they're going to go on to something better and live a better life. They're not. Okay? They're not. Don't believe the way they're portraying it. They're falling apart inside. Okay? And please, stop watching the social media. You don't need to see, a lot of some of you are so emotionally plugged in, and I'm not criticizing you, but I know how it is. You're so emotionally still involved with them that if you did see them suffering or you saw them in pain, you would actually feel bad for them. I know many of you are going to say that you wouldn't, but I'm telling you, when there's someone that was so significant in your life and you cared about deeply, regardless of what they've done, if you saw them in a bad way, many of you would tug your heartstrings. So what we need to understand collectively is they go on this risky route. And I want you to stop watching, because many of these narcissists that are involved in your life are going to go on to other new supplies. Some of them will cling to this new supply out of desperation and fear of being alone. So some of them will go on and get married and have children, and it's going to be a very, very toxic dynamic. But what will happen through the process, regardless if they went on and had children and had got married or whatever they did, they eventually are going to hit this point, because this collapse lasts for a very long time. And many of these narcissists are actually going to start to withdraw from people in general. And this is when there's a deficiency in supply. They don't have any supply source. but it's actually out of their choice. They're choosing not to be around people now. You see, all of these people that they've been encountering after you is they're getting taken advantage of, they're getting deceived. They're obviously still doing their own toxicity on their side of things as well. So it's very dysfunctional relationships that they're involved in. Your relationship with a narcissist can seem somewhat healthy in a slightest way. I know many of you are not going to understand what I mean, but because of what you was pouring forth into the relationship, your side of things was healthy, and what you believed it to be up until the point that you stopped believing it to be that way, it was healthy because of everything that you was pouring forth and they was mirroring, and you believed that they were serious, right? So they're gonna fall apart. They're falling apart. They will indulge in this risky behavior. It might look glamorous, but things like drugs and alcohol abuse, that can affect chosen ones and empaths as well. So it's no laughing matter. I'm just bringing to you to your attention that narcissists will indulge in this risky, promiscuous even behavior, impulsive behavior. That's them falling apart. And they're eventually going to hit that place when they just withdraw and they don't even want to be around people. And that's... They also have a logical reason why they don't want to be with other people, is because they fall into the realization that supply sources aren't matching your worth. So you don't need to sit around during early days or even a year or even a couple years out. A lot of this is going to be a long process of them falling apart over time, more and more falling apart, this narcissistic collapse. All of you do some research on the narcissistic collapse. It brings a lot of clarity and understanding of why they did what they did. Perhaps some of you, it's a possibility, met the narcissist while they was already going through a collapse. Explains their irrational behavior, their impulsive behavior, their risky behavior. You don't need to take this as them cheating on you, them leaving you for someone else. It just says more about them as individuals. You don't need to let it affect your self-worth or anything like that, or try and detach from the ego, and don't let it be ego driven where you're feeling offended. It's got nothing to do with you why they rushed out. It's got something to do with you, and the reason why they couldn't be around you because of the narcissistic injuries that are inflicted. This is a significant thing that not a lot of people are talking about what happens to a narcissist in their inner world by feeling inadequate around the chosen one, empath and genuine soul. They feel inadequate. They feel like they can never do enough, the best thing. They feel unworthy. It gets to them. They choose the lower route. They choose to downgrade. They go out there and downgrade. They have to. They might make themselves delusional at the beginning, like they're making a brilliant decision for their lives, but they realize soon enough when they're out there. So this is part of their collapse, what they're going through. They're going to be going through this for some time. You don't need to watch it. You don't need to hear about it. You need to get on with your life. Okay? You don't need to see them go through this collapse. You need to have a knowing that the significant impact you made on this life of this narcissist is ultimately going to result them going into a collapse from losing the relationship they had with you. Okay? You need to know your worth. And that is what happens to a narcissist. They're dependent upon you. They were dependent upon you for however long it lasted. And they're still dependent upon you now, the memory of you and things like that. And before they met you, they were dependent upon you for the vision of finding someone of your capabilities and what you provided. They were on the search for that. Now they've already had that. They're not on the search for that again. They're looking to replace you. So Please, everyone, do some research on the narcissistic collapse. I've tried my best here. I have got some other videos on the channel. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but it should come up. I have got some other videos on the channel about the narcissistic collapse. But it is an important topic. It is an important topic, and it's something to realize that the narcissist is going through. They are falling apart. Please, it's not them feeling bad for what they did. It's not them feeling wrong for what they did. It's not them being remorseful. It's them falling apart without the potent supply that you provided in their lives. The way you kept them afloat. The way you was like a life support. The significance of losing someone of your potential and your worth. And they've traded it for trash. This is the onset for the narcissistic collapse. So this explains the risky behavior, and please understand what I said earlier on in the segment about when it falls apart early, like towards the end when they're making these risky decisions. It's actually because they're choosing to discard you, for example, obviously to make you chase and whatnot, to change the dynamics of the relationship, but they also know that they need to be away from you for some time. So they get down. They actually will cry when they lose you, even when they do discards. They'll have their dark moments, and they'll try and distract themselves with drink, drugs, impulsive, risky behavior, promiscuity. They'll try and indulge in anything to distract their mind from the pain that they're feeling from losing the empath, chosen one, and genuine soul. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.